Hello, future teacher. Welcome. In this video, we are going to talk about the different philosophies of education. Specifically, the content of this video are these philosophies of education. We have the Progressivism, Perennialism, Existentialism, Behaviorism, Linguistic Philosophy, Constructivism, and Essentialism. Aside from this, we actually have lots of other philosophies of education, and to name a few, we have idealism, realism, pragmatism. Okay, and idealism talks about the what are the ideal things in life, and realism, the keyword for that is to see is to believe. You have to for you to believe something, you have to see it first, the real thing first. So realism. And pragmatism, when we say pragmatism, it talks about the practical things in life. Okay, it's about being practical, and we will focus on this: the progressivism, perennialism, existentialism, behaviorism, linguistic philosophy, constructivism, and essentialism. So now, the first philosophy of education that we will talk about is progressivism. So each slide, by the way, will contain these questions: the why teach, how to teach, okay, and lastly, what to teach when we adhere to this philosophy of education. So first, again, we will talk about progressivism. So as teachers, why do we teach like when we adhere to this philosophy, when we believe in progressivism? Why do we teach? What is our belief of why we teach to our learners? Because we believe that we need to develop learners into becoming progressive and rational citizens. Again, progressivism. What is our goal? To develop students who are progressive and rational citizens. Progressive in a way that they can progress. We will develop their wholeness. A child as a whole, we are going to develop their whole personality, their abilities, so on and so forth, cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. And then we are going to train students to become rational citizens. Rational citizens in a way that they really think carefully, they filter the informations that they receive, and they decide on their own rationally. And then next, in progressivism, how do we teach them? We make use of experiential methods because we are trying to develop the whole the core of the child, right? So we have to make sure that we provide them with experiential methods, with experiences, real life experiences, and we allow them to utilize problem solving method. Because we are trying to put them into the real world scenario. We are trying to build rational citizens. So what do we give to them? So of course, those problem solving method. How do they solve problems in the society? Something like that. And then what do we teach to them? We have to teach to them the skills or processes to cope with change. Because change is, there is nothing constant than change. Tama ba? Okay. So with progressivism as a philosophy of education, we will be able to develop individuals who are adaptive to fast changing environments, and we are going to teach to them the skills in evaluating information, and again, problem solving. So that is all about progressivism. Again, the key word is, when we talk about progressivism, we talk about developing the core child, the center of the child, in order for him to progress in every aspect of his or her life. Next, perennialism. So, why do we teach? When you are a perennialist, you teach because you want to develop the students' rational and moral powers. So, the focus of this, yung pinagkaiba ng perennialism to progressivism, is you focus more on the moral powers, the morality of your students. So, how do you teach? When you want to develop the morality of your students, you give them lesson and activities that are focused around the teachers because the teachers are the role model. So kung ano yung pinapakita ni teacher, the character of the teacher, the attitude of the teacher, how the teacher deals with life, something like that. So the students will model the teachers and the students will learn from it. So something like that. And also we teach them by using debates to allow students to understand concepts. Debates or the Socratic dialogue. Again, another term for debate is Socratic dialogue. So what do we teach when we adhere to perennialism? So we teach them, we make use of the general curriculum, general education curriculum. So we are not focusing on the specialization here in perennialism. And also we teach lessons that are picked up from the great books. So do you have I do believe that you have this general education which talks about the great books, if I'm not mistaken. So with that, the teacher, since he or she is the core like source of information, the main facilitator of this one, of this philosophy of education, so the teacher will choose only the best information that will be given to the students. And yeah, so nag-repeat, sorry for the typo error. So again, for perennialism, our keyword for this is the traditional method. Why traditional? Because the teacher is the sole focus of the teaching learning process. Lesson and activities are focused around the teachers, meaning to say the teachers are the one who seek information and deliver it to the child. The children do not have the choice to choose the lessons that they are going to have. So perennialism is what? Is a traditional approach. It focuses on the development of the child through pagbibigay ni teacher ng kung ano lang yung gusto niyang ibigay. Again, perennialism, traditional method. Next is existentialism. So when we adhere to existentialism, we believe that we teach because we want to allow students to discover their own essence in life. Why do they exist in life? So that the students will be able to see the importance why they exist in life. Why are they born in this world? We want to allow students to acknowledge their individual unique characteristics. If you believe that students should have, or like students should have this feeling of like having the self confidence, or having the knowledge of, or like having the knowledge of their purpose in life, if you want to establish that purpose in life in your students, so um, probably you adhere to this philosophy of education. You are an existentialist. And when you are an existentialist, how do you teach? You allow your students to learn individually through their own pace, through self-directed learning. You make use of values clarification technique to fully know themselves. So you allow them to reflect, you reflect thoroughly on why do they or what are the things that they believe in, like why do they really exist, why do they think they exist in this world. Again, you let them find their purpose in life. Okay, so when you believe that that students have to develop that kind of thinking, so you are probably an existentialist. So you when you adhere to existentialism, what do you teach? You give students a wide variety of options from which to choose. You allow them to decide, for them to discover their own purpose, for them to discover their whole essence, their real essence in this world. You make use of art to develop creativity, imagination, and self-expression among your students. So again, existentialism, you allow them to think of the why do they exist and to find their purpose here in this world. Next, behaviorism. Why do you teach? If you are a behaviorist, why do you teach? Because you want to reform the behavior of your student. How can you reform the behavior of your student? How can you change the behavior of your student? By providing a good environment. With behaviorism, you believe that your classroom environment, how you arrange the furnitures inside your classroom, will eventually affect how your students behave. Okay? And you also believe that students that you want to develop the students who show good behavior in the society, because again, school is the training ground. If they do behave well in the classroom, they will be expected to behave as well, to behave good as well in the society. So how to teach when you are a behaviorist? Of course, you again establish good classroom conditions. Good classroom conditions that allow students to respond to a particular stimuli. So one thing that you can do is that, again, a part in the classroom management is that you as a teacher will show to them that you are trying to establish rapport, you have a positive relationship between the positive teacher and student relationship. So that's one of the particular stimuli in the classroom, and so the students will be able to develop this ideal behavior. And then, what do we teach? Teachers guide students to provide positive response to specific stimuli in the classroom. So, this behaviorism, when you adhere to behaviorism, um, the things that you consider in delivering, it's more on like how you carry yourselves in the classroom, how you build relationships with other people. And again, the focus of this one, the keyword for behaviorism is setting up a good classroom condition. A good classroom condition affects the behavior of the learner. Next, linguistic philosophy. When we say linguistic philosophy, anong pumapasok sa isipan natin? Okay, why do we teach? We want to develop the communication skills of our students. Linguistic. So, yeah, let's relate it to communication skills. So, we want to develop their ability to send messages to their peers, to other people, to their families. And aside from that, we teach them the proper way of interpreting messages. And so how do we teach them? We teach them with concrete experiences. Experiential learning pa rin po. But we focus on language and communication. So let's say, for example, we want to develop our students to have the ability in like using the English language appropriately. And so we make use of English language as the medium of instruction in our classroom and the medium of communication inside our classroom. If you can still remember during your elementary and high school days, so some of your teachers will ask you to make it a policy inside the classroom na English speaking lang. So that is one way. So maybe the teacher is adhering to linguistic philosophy. Next is, what do we teach to them? We teach them, we expose them to various vocabularies, lots of vocabulary. So, kaya nga meron tayong word walls, meron tayong word of the day, that will allow our students to develop their vocabularies, to widen their vocabularies, and also that will develop eventually their communication skills. Next is constructivism. And when we say constructivism, they construct their own knowledge. And how do they construct their own knowledge? By providing them with lots of, again, experiences. Because with experiences, once they have experienced this, and they will experience this once more, so they will be able to conclude, they are going to construct na, this is the thing that I should do, or something like that. So again, we use constructivism because we believe that we have to produce self-motivated and independent learners that are capable of constructing new knowledge and meaning. Next, how to teach? We make use of interactive strategies. And then, what to teach? We teach them with like skills such as searching, critiquing, evaluating information, reflecting, and relating, and making meaning. Okay, so we will continue on the next video. So please watch the next video for the continuation of Philosophies of Education. Bye!